Good evening, and welcome to the Putnam Valley Board of Education Business Meeting of November 19th, 2018. Please stand and join me as we salute our flag, and it's back there. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to thank everybody for their flexibility in adjusting to what Mother Nature threw at us last week. And I'm glad everybody could be here this evening. I'd like to start with a resolution to approve the minutes of the October 18th, 2018 and November 1st, 2018 meetings of the Board of Education.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. I'd also like to announce that the Treasurer's Report for August 2018 is available in the business office. Thirdly, we're going to play around a little bit with the order because our student representative, Miss Sonia Garcia, is due to perform at the Gratitude Festival over in Tompkins Community Corners. So she's going to give her report now and then run to go on stage over there. So take it away, Sonia.
So there was plenty of things that happened in the past week. So today was the international dinner. This was scheduled for last Thursday, but it was moved due to the snow day and the early dismissal. There was a good turnout and plenty of food, even though it was rescheduled. There was also a Somers tour. This was when the representatives of the student government, including Sarah and I, showed around the Somers High School representatives. And when this was done, we went to the conference room to explain the new bell and lunch schedule. Then we walked them around to the school to experience the common lunch on every floor. This was done before and after the underclassmen were able to leave their academic study classrooms. We also went to Mr. Lathrop's room so they could get a teacher perspective on the new schedule. And finally, we answered any questions that they had. They seemed intrigued and impressed by the new lunch schedule, and someone even mentioned how they liked the barcodes in the library, which was to make sure the library doesn't get overcrowded. There's also the Gratitude Festival tonight that you mentioned. This will take place tonight at 7 p.m. in the Tompkins Cultural Center. It is student-run and will include singing, instrument playing, and poem reading. Tomorrow is the Breakfast of Champions, which will take place at 7:50 a.m. in the cafeteria. This is for football and volleyball players because for football, they went the farthest in sectionals in Putnam Valley history, and for volleyball, they won league championships and had a record of 16-2 in the regular season and 17-3 in the whole season. So, yes, very eventful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And many of us at this table are sorry we're missing the Gratitude Festival. It's usually
No,
something
it's
very
okay.
special. Okay, our next we're moving into presentations, and we love these. We're starting with a presentation of a Student of Distinction Award.
Yes, this is a special award presented by Putnam Northern Westchester BOCES, and we have Lynn Allen here, who is one of the assistant superintendents. We have John McCarthy, also the assistant superintendent of the Putnam Northern Westchester BOCES, and we have the principal of Walden School. We also have Tina McCaghey, one of our Putnam Valley residents and on the town board. I'm sorry, her husband's on the town board. She was on the school board.
And she's currently on the BOCES board.
And she's currently on the BOCES board. And she's here to help, and I will gladly present the award with the principal to one of our students. And Natalie Doherty, will you come with me too? Because you know Aiden very, very well. And Natalie's our assistant superintendent, and we'd like to present this.
Thank you. Just a little bit about Aiden. He's relatively new to us.
Microphone.
Aiden is relatively new to us.
We're very demanding here at Putnam Valley.
So let me start again. First of all, I'd like to thank the members of the Putnam Valley School Board to give me the distinct honor and privilege for not only working with one of your students, Aiden Rice, but also publicly acknowledging the growth he's made since arriving at our school. He's relatively new to Walden. Started with us with our intensive therapeutic support program rather late in the last school year. He's made a lot of gains in that program, and we felt we could really continue to make gains in our learning center. So since September, he's been with Miss Melissa Bayer in her K-1 self-contained classroom. And if you would allow me, I'd like to have Miss Bayer come up and just speak a few words about Aiden, and then we can do the give him the rewards.
Hi, thanks for allowing me to come tonight. I knew Aiden a little bit from when he was in our ITSP program. Saw him in the hallways and on the playground. But he started in my class in September. And, the smile is just, it's contagious. His smile, his enthusiasm, his creativity. He's just a joy to be in class. Not without his challenges, but rule number 4 in our classroom is
Be the best you can be.
And Aiden does that every day. Every day he's showing us that despite what challenges he might have, he's going to continue to be the best he can be. And I'm so proud to be here tonight, and I really hope Aiden feels as proud as he should, because this is really a great accomplishment.
We're all very, very proud of Aiden, and I'd like to ask Ms. Pastretta to come up as well, the assistant principal for the elementary school, who also is very, very fond of Aiden, and we would all like to present this certificate to Aiden for his wonderful accomplishments at the Walden School. So Aiden, this is for you. This is a very special certificate because you are being the best you can be, and we are so proud of you. Thank you so much, Aiden.
I think if we turned off the lights, his smile could light up this room. One of the best parts of being on the Board of Education. And here's another best part of being on the Board of Education. Our second presentation is from our Putnam Valley High School science research students, our sophomores presenting their new topics of study. And this is part 2, correct?
Yeah. And the last part.
So just to, for people who are here for the first time, who may not know Mr. Zupan, who is the teacher of the science research program. We started this program 4 years ago, and we've had some wonderful achievements and accomplishments by our students who find a passion, a subject they want to research, and develop that over 3 years, and then present it in competitions that are quite rigorous throughout the counties, the region, and we're very, very proud of what our students have accomplished in this program.
Exactly. It's a great honor to teach this course. We started it 4 years ago, and we have 2 students, 2 seniors. One of them, Sarah Bross, who's one of the student representatives, and Dora Rippin are currently waiting their final okay to be published in 2 different journals. Sarah went to international competition last year, Caitlin Cohen as well. Into 2 different international competitions and both placed. So we've had some really good success. But it starts at sophomore year. And I applaud these sophomores for coming up and talking in front of everybody, because I know if my teacher asked me to do that sophomore year, I probably would have quit at that point and ran away. But they're learning about how to talk to professionals and how to read professionally. And so at this point now, they kind of have a good topic. They have an idea of what they really want to research. And they started looking into different areas of where they could find mentors, but it's very difficult to do. Just like our program started, there's many programs, and a local competition that's held in Westchester called WestF every year has 650 students competing in it. And that's just in Westchester and Putnam area. So it's hard to find mentors for each one of those students, but it has to be done. And we have faculty that helps out with that. We have other professionals, people on the board that help us. Mr. Cohen helps us a lot with statistics. So we're reaching out, and that's why we come to these board meetings, and it's always great to have them come. And they're going to really quickly talk about their topic and where they're looking for mentors or what kind of topic they're looking for. So if you know of anybody that has done research in any of these fields, to please reach out and contact me. at jzupan@pbcsd.org, or to email anyone on the board and they get in contact with me so that we can hopefully find all these students' mentors and find out someone to contact. So without further ado, I'll let the students really talk about their projects, and then hopefully we're coming back in a couple of years and they're discussing what gains what they've done, and hopefully they're working at getting published as well. So.
Good evening. My name is McCaghey, and I'm researching sleep deprivation. I'm interested in sleep deprivation because everyone needs sleep, yet there is still a lot unknown about it. I'm looking for a mentor anywhere from Putnam Valley to New York City, and anyone who specializes in sleep. Thank you. Have a nice night.
Good evening. My name is Elissa Recinos, and I'm researching toll-like receptors. Sorry.
Perhaps we can wait a moment until we can show some of these slides. I'd like to show Ms. McCaghey's slide as well.
Yeah.
There it is. So
Yeah.
this was the slide of Molly McCaghey, and I want to make sure that we saw the work that, by the way, this is very important research. It supports our later start at our high school, so we're glad that you're working on this.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Elissa Recinos, and I'm researching toll-like receptors. I'm interested in toll-like receptors because they play a key role in immune system, yet nobody really knows the exact role for them. I'm looking for mentors from Putnam Valley to New York City, specifically with a lab researching immunology. Thank you. Have a good evening.
And just like Sophia, we have some students that are setting up and also performing at Tompkins Cultural Center. So we have Lauren Allen, who's researching facial expressions and how emotions are elicited and how people then elicit emotions. She's been looking at the effects that gaming systems have. So like playing Fortnite, what kind of effect does it have socially on someone and their ability to recognize emotions if they spend so many hours playing a game like that versus something else. She's looking at anything with facial expressions in the New York area. And Parker Speraza is also doing music therapy. He's looking at something in the idea of music as a way to help people with Alzheimer's or something in Alzheimer's realm, having a personal connection to having family members with Alzheimer's and seeing that firsthand.
Good evening. My name is Emma Jaffis. I'm also researching sleep, and I have actually already found a mentor this past week. She's at NYU.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Monique Perez, and my topic is called Overnight Orthokeratology. I chose this topic because personally, I do not like wearing glasses or contact lenses. So, I visited my eye doctor. Dr. Ellyn Schwartz introduced me to orthokeratology. She showed me that these lenses are made to be slept with during the night, and when these lenses are removed in the morning, you have clear, perfect vision, which is incredible. So, I'm looking for a mentor in the Westchester area, and along my journey through science research, Dr. Ellyn Schwartz has been helping me. So, thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is TJ McEwen, and I'm looking to do research in sociolinguistics, which is the study of different societal roles of different variants of speech and societal and political perceptions of those variants of speech. I'm interested in this topic because of my own interest in both history and individual language study. I'm looking for mentors in the tri-state area, so if anybody would know anybody interested or involved in the research of sociolinguistics, I would greatly appreciate if they reached out to me. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Elissa Steele and my research is in brain learning. I'm looking at a specific type of brain imaging called electroencephalogram or EEG. And basically I would like to see what type of electrical pulses signify learning. I'm interested in this topic because I'm a tutor and I'm very interested in how people learn and what elicits that type of learning. And also my grandmother is in the neuroscience fields and she has also inspired me to pursue this kind of project. I'm looking for mentors from Westchester to Dobbs Ferry. Thank you.
And then we have one more. I'm sorry that unfortunately he's out sick, but Devin is looking at paleontology. He originally was looking at some people down in the American Museum of Natural History, but unfortunately they only take students from this actual city limits. So he's looking for somebody in the idea of paleontology and or evolution, and looking for that as well. So, and again, thank you so much. Thank you to the board for giving us the time to talk about this. And hopefully in January we start hearing about a lot of these different competitions. So hopefully back and we have more good news like we've had last year. So thank you very much.
Thank you. It's very, very inspiring to have our students share with us what they're doing, what their thoughts are, what their interests are. It motivates us to move forward in our work, in our mission. So thank you. Thank you for being here and sharing.
And I could pronounce almost all of the topics this time, except for the author, that one was beyond me. Yeah, I'll get there. Okay. Our next on the agenda is a facilities project overview and presentation, but the people doing that are downstairs in the pack doing that for, that was an earlier meeting. So we're going to jump right to the superintendent's report.
Okay.
And we'll probably throw that back in and thank everybody for their flexibility today.
So I'll start just by saying that this is the time of year, the Thanksgiving holiday, that gives us an opportunity to express appreciation to our dedicated Putnam Valley educators who are continually seeking new ways to engage students in learning and in developing cognitively and emotionally. We know that in order to become active and responsible citizens, students need practice in academic attainment and in empathy toward others. As we look forward to our Thanksgiving holiday, I just want to convey again special appreciation to our high school musicians and poets for conducting their 4th annual Gratitude Festival at this time. I just want to state that, we are really looking in each of our schools to find new ways for students to share their ideas. Right now, we're sitting in the library that students designed. There's a nice article in the newspaper, in the local newspaper, about the fact that the design of this library, which right now is being used as a performance space with different types of seating arrangements during the day. There are tables, there are places for students to read, to learn in different configurations. But tonight, it's a meeting space, and we intend in the winter, in the late winter, to use this as a place to perform the one-act plays in a one-act play contest that we are supporting in the district. For students who have written plays and then will produce them, there'll be other students acting in them, and they'll be directing. So this place that students have designed has provided a multifaceted way for our students to engage and to learn. I know we mentioned the play a little bit, but I do have to say again, it was quite a remarkable undertaking, Lost in Yonkers, and the students were exceptional during that time. I also wanted to mention that we had more students this year in NYSSMA than we've ever had. 12 students were nominated for NYSSMA, and that was a very exciting opportunity for them. May I also mention later in this meeting, there's a very important event to take place, which is the appointment of our assistant principal, and at that time I will read more about Dr. Mojica, who's coming to join us. We had a difficulty this week that we shared that created consternation, and I don't want to overlook it or think that people overlook it. We are studying very, very hard every time something of this nature comes to our attention. And in fact, throughout the country, we have many incidents where unfortunately we have the use of social media for improper purposes. This is a huge issue for our students, our parents, for all of us, for our teachers, for all of us to feel safe. We cannot allow social media to be used in this way, to provide information that can be interpreted as threatening. And it is a sobering fact of life in our time that something like this great invention of Facebook, artificial intelligence, all these wonderful, wonderful inventions, they have their negative side. And I remember my father, when I was quite young, saying to me when there was atomic energy, believe it or not, I was young in those days, atomic energy. And he said, Francie, he said, there's a downside. There's a downside to all inventions. And he's right. All great inventions. We talked about nuclear power and how it could be used. And I remember it very distinctly. So right now we are grappling with this. Truly, we are grappling with it. And in schools, to a great extent. And we have not found the solution. I read recently we can choose to deal with events either by problem solving or fear. And as we know, fear does terrible things to people, to ourselves, and to others. So I'm hopeful that we will continue to deal with things like this with a problem solving model to learn and to grow.
And Fran, if you will, if you don't mind, I'm going to add to that in terms of a lot of what we've done today really fall under the category of protective factors. How to build positivity among our students, among our community, giving them an opportunity to shine in an area of science or in music or having a gratitude festival. The more connections our research says that the more connections our students make with positive adults in their life, the more positive they will be in their life. Many of the perpetrators of unfortunate events were found to not have those positive connections. So it all really does come together, and I just want to reiterate on behalf of the entire Board of Education, there is nothing more important to us than the safety and well-being of our students. What we teach them is secondary to them being safe. So we look at active threats, imminent threats, code of conduct violations, the whole gamut of things that cause concern, and our response is going to be different depending on the level of concern. But know that whatever our response is, safety is always our paramount concern.
We'll wait for
And I believe Jill is back.
But we'll wait for Dr. Love to come back.
Okay.
And we'll go on to.
So we can, so at this point then, I will open it up to public contribution on agenda items, though the building project will be added later. Is there any public contribution at this point? And there will be another point after the facilities conversation. And do we have any representative from the PTA or PTSA for a report?
She's
All
down
right.
at the facilities meeting.
She's down at the facilities
So when
meeting.
she comes back,
I can just say that what we did at the, facilities, we had a wonderful turnout for our Q&A session forum before the board meeting tonight. I don't have the exact count. I would guess about 25 to 30 people were there.
30, 35.
Yeah, and some wonderful questions were asked, and some important information was given out that perhaps not everybody knew. And I know it was taped. The entire session was taped and will be also placed on our website along with the other information that is already up there. Hopefully everyone got their mailers in the mail this week regarding the project, and they'll reach out if they have any questions regarding the project. I just want to say that so far I think that the questions, like I said, that were asked were very important ones, and whether they were, positive, negative, they were all added to the conversation, and answers that came out ended up, I think, in a very positive way. And it's important that everyone ask those questions and get the information to each other.
Okay. So that was,
Yeah, I don't know if Dr. Luft has anything to add to the conversation. He was delayed down at the Q&A because it was extended beyond the hour that we had hoped it would end in an hour before the board meeting, but it went on a little bit. Do I need to get up? I'm sorry.
well, and I think if there are any further questions of anybody who's here or in the audience at home who was not able to go to the Q&A, these are our two resident experts, Dr. Luft and Ms. Figueroa, and they are certainly available. But Jeremy, do you want to kind of?
Sure. I'll apologize in advance because I don't know what part I missed. I was still down there. But first, I was actually very impressed by the number of people who came out. We had a pretty large group. I think people came in with differing opinions, positive or negative, but everyone was certainly cordial and listened to everyone, and I hope that people left feeling more informed than they were when they came in. And what else did you say?
We both said the same thing.
Okay.
So we both basically said the same thing, and I think we have the same feeling from the meeting that whoever came in and asked questions, whether they were positive or negative, walked away with answers that they were more informed about than when they came in.
So I know that we offered a building tour following the meeting, so I had to run up here, so I'm not sure who took advantage of it, but I know we plan on offering more next week. For people who never been in the middle school or haven't been in for many years, you sort of need to see it firsthand to really appreciate the work that needs to be done. So we'll continue to offer those as well as other opportunities to get the community involved. I know recently we met at the firehouse. I have a house call scheduled to meet with a group of people at a community member's house. I know we have a senior center scheduled. We did a town board meeting, and any other opportunities in which people are gathering and would like more information on the facilities project, we're more than willing to accommodate those.
I also want to remind everyone that if they haven't been to the middle school, they'd like to take a tour of the middle school, that our Director of Operations is offering that on Tuesdays, I think. They're working on times right now, but I think at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. on Tuesday. This Tuesday coming up?
Next Tuesday, after Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay, the Tuesday after the holiday.
Or by appointment.
Or yes, of course, if anyone calls and wants to, can't make it at those times, I'm sure that someone would be able to do that.
And I am grateful for all those people that did come and ask questions, and some of their questions will help inform our later. I happened to be there for a few minutes and heard questions about the safety of turf, which is part of our planning process anyway. So it's important for us to know what the community members are thinking and asking, and it does help inform our plans as we go further. So I do thank everybody for coming out on the week before Thanksgiving after a snow day and everything else. So, Dr. Lepp, do you have a curriculum report that you would like to share? You don't have to. That's fine. We can move on to new business happily.
I'll do really quick. I just, in a brief conversation with Mr. Burrows, our athletic director, he actually provided us very positive feedback on the later start in terms of athletics, as students were able to take advantage throughout the fall season to take advantage of extra help in clubs between that 2:40 and 3:15 time frame. So that was some positive feedback. I know that time period is cut shorter for the winter season because of the gym space. Also related to the facilities project, but we expect it to go back to that start time again, in the later start time again in the spring. The SELF committee is working, the members of SELF are working with a district committee where the district's in the process of applying to be a green school. So that's a national designation to show the efforts the district is making in terms of sustainability. So that's something we're working on. I'm sure you guys have already spoken about the high school drama. The Innovative Classroom Academy met recently, and the highlight was actually a star in the audience, our own Jeanette Mastretta. She led a station teaching exercise about station teaching, which was pretty creative, and I know it was well received by all of the teachers. So we're looking forward to continuing that work, inviting in more of our administrative colleagues to facilitate parts of the sessions and to continue that good work. I know before us tonight is our candidate for our middle school assistant principal. It was a very thorough and exciting process, and I'm looking forward to welcoming him on board. And just a quick facilities update. Obviously, a brochure went out to the entire community. I already spoke a little bit about the firehouse, the town board meetings, and other opportunities where the public is gathering, and we're more than willing to answer any questions that may arise. Thanks.
I'd like to reopen it up for public contribution. Okay, let us now move on, and we've heard it mentioned, referred to twice now. Let's move on to new business, starting with number 1, Mr. Ferraro.
It's a dramatic pause.
Okay, do we need a drum roll?
Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools that the Board of Education hereby appoints Dr. Karen Mojica as middle school assistant principal in the middle school assistant principal tenure area to serve a 4-year probationary appointment effective December 17th, 2018 through December 16th, 2022 at an annual salary of $135,000 prorated. Dr. Mojica holds the following certifications: New York State School Building Leader, New York State School District Leader, and New York State Mathematics grades 7 through 12.
Second.
Questions or comments? Dr. Wills?
Yes, I'd like to read again the letter that I sent to the community so that everyone, because the letter that I sent went to our parents, I'd like to make sure that everyone in the community hears a bit about Dr. Mojica and why we're so excited to have him here with us. And I do want to say that he's here with his wife, Amy, his children, let me see if I remember these, Damien and Kira. Okay, that, for me, that's big. It's the short-term memory issue, okay? So I'm pleased, I'm very delighted to meet the family. Dear members of the Putnam Valley community, after an extensive search process within a limited time frame, I anticipate that the Board of Education will appoint Dr. Karen Mojica to the position of assistant principal at the Putnam Valley Middle School on Thursday evening, November 15th, and of course, it isn't Thursday evening, it's Monday evening due to the storm, November 19th, 2018, at the regularly scheduled Board of Education meeting. Although the vacancy arose during the school year, there were 110 applicants. 17 qualified candidates were screened by Mr. McCarty, the principal, Dr. Luft, and I over 2 evenings. 4 candidates were interviewed by a representative committee consisting of 30 teachers and community members. The committee was divided so that one group used a standard interview procedure with pre-vetted questions, and a second group observed a presentation by the candidate on a task assigned ahead of time, and then posed queries related to the presentation. Board member Barbara Parmley participated in the interviews. A writing sample was also administered after the interviews were conducted. During the debriefing session, after substantive discussion, there was a significant consensus that the candidate to bring forward to the board is Dr. Mojica. Dr. Mojica brings a strong mathematics background, a doctorate from Pace in Computing, 13 very successful years at Pleasantville as a teacher leader, coach, creator, teacher, director of the district STEM program, and administrative intern. In addition, Dr. Mojica was a well-respected athletic coach. He played Division I football for the University of New Hampshire and brings his experience coaching students on and off the field to the role of assistant principal. His references revealed a teacher well-loved by students, respected by peers and principal, and highly recommended by the superintendent, whom I know well. I was informed by a fellow teacher that Dr. Mojica is called upon regularly by the administration to provide professional development and support to staff, and that teachers invite him into their classrooms to offer ideas and suggestions for hands-on activities. He has volunteered his time to contribute in many ways to Pleasantville and will be missed by all. Dr. Mojica is viewed as a leader in the district, and his knowledge and pedagogical strength are only superseded by his personal qualities, including a great sense of humor and a warm, loving builder of relationships throughout the community. And I hope this isn't embarrassing, but he was called a kid magnet by each of his references, so there must be something true about that, because all of them agreed. That was a consensus. I strongly recommend Dr. Mojica for our next assistant principal and ask our Putnam Valley community to welcome him as a partner to our principal and staff and a leader and role model for our students. And I'm very proud to introduce Dr. Mahika to the board.
We didn't vote. We didn't vote. All in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Aye. Now
And
we're
now-
voting. You have to come up and shake our hands.
You have to shake everybody's
Gotta run the gauntlet.
Let's see if they get in front of the table.
Aren't you prepared? Didn't Fran tell you had to give a speech? Now,
We were further out.
Nope.
Turn it up.
Hello? Good evening. I just want to say thank you very much to all the community members, the teachers, students, all that came out, that was member of the interview committee. And thank you very much to the administrative staff and all those that I met through my tour of the building, and it was just so welcoming. Thank you very much to the board members. This is a wonderful community to be a part of. There are a lot of great initiatives that I am excited to be a part of, and I think I could help add some value to, and I'm just excited to get started.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much.
Okay. That's fun. So moving on to number 2, Ms. Pornwood?
Resolved on recommendation of the superintendent of schools to appoint Amy Novak to a long-term substitute position as a special education teacher at the high school, effective October 17, 2018, at the substitute salary rate of $150 per day. Ms. Novak holds ELA 712 initial certification.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 3.
Resolved on recommendation of superintendent of schools to accept the resignation of Mercedes Perez, a lunch monitor at the middle school, from the district effective June 30th, 2019, for the purpose of retirement, as per document 79/19, attached to the agenda and official minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Questions or comments?
I just want to mention that Ms. Perez is a figure I remember well from my time, and I'm sure she will be a huge loss to that building. I know she's been there for a really long time, and always had a smile on her face. So I just wanted to point that out as someone that I vividly remember when I was here.
All in favor?
Are we in the all in favor part?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, number 4. We're back to you, Ms. Farrow.
Yep. Another dramatic pause.
Dramatic pause, okay.
Resolved on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools to appoint Holly Freehill as a part-time, up to 15 hours per week, district-wide special education teacher, commencing on November 16th, 2018 through June 30th, 2019, on Step 2A-MA, prorated of the PVFT salary schedule. Ms. Freehill holds professional certificates in early childhood education, birth to grade 2, students with disabilities, birth to grade 2, childhood education, grades 1 through 6, students with disabilities, grade 1 through 6, and initial certificates in students with disabilities, birth through grade 2, early childhood education, birth through grade 2, students with disabilities, grade 1 through 6, and childhood education, grades 1 through 6.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Number 5.
Resolved on recommendation of the superintendent of schools to appoint Yvonne Mazza to a probationary appointment as a part-time office assistant, 15 hours weekly, effective November 19th, 2018, with a minimum probationary period of 8 weeks, January 14th, 2019, and a maximum of 52 weeks, November 19th, 2019, at the Transportation Department on Step 1 of the CSEA salary schedule.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Number 6.
Resolved on recommendation of the superintendent of schools to accept the resignation of Dorothy France from her assignment as ENL coordinator, effective October 31st, 2018, as per document 80/19, attached to the agenda and official minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on to the consent agenda.
Resolved to approve the consent agenda items 2 through 10 as presented to the board at this meeting.
Second.
Questions or comments?
We're approving CSE, CPSE placements. We're accepting a generous donation from the Hope for Youth Foundation in the amount of $4,500 to be used for the middle school homework booster club. We thank the Witt family, and I beg everyone in the community to buy their calendars. We're approving unpaid days for 2 staff members. We're approving 5 people for morning monitoring at the middle school or to be working as school assistants. We're approving additions to the substitute tutor list. We're appointing 19 people to work at the special election on December 4th. We're approving additional assignments for 2 staff members to work on the distance guidance plan, which will include the New York State regulation and 1 employee who worked on superintendent's conference today. We're approving an assistant girls varsity basketball coach, and we're reimbursing a student for tuition for a course they took at Westchester Community College.
And I believe before we vote, we have to name a chairman for the vote on December 4th from among the board members. Do I have anybody who'd like to volunteer before they're voluntold? Anybody who's willing to?
I'm available, if, you know.
That sounds good.
Not it.
So Barbara Parmley?
Sure.
Thank you, Barbara.
So I need to be there at what?
6, yeah.
Okay. Now we can do questions or comments?
That was question and comments.
That was question or comments. Now we can do all in favor?
Yes, we can.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Barbara.
Sure.
Okay.
Public comment on any topic?
Yes. Sorry, I have not, my computer was refurbished and I haven't picked it up from Mr. Mike Lee yet. So I'm back in the world of paper. So, yes, any public comment on any topic at all? Okay, then, I'd like to make a resolution to convene an executive session for the purposes of discussing the employment history of 70 particular persons and matters, and one matter that may lead to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of particular persons, corporation, and one matter, yes, I'm looking for where I say them. One matter to discuss made exempt under federal law, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. After which time, no further business will be conducted.
Second.
Questions or comments?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'd like, did he just say aye? Okay. I'd like to wish everyone a very, very, very happy and healthy Thanksgiving holiday and long weekend, and please be safe.